South Africa is one of the best amongst African countries, if not the best. But that comes up with other negatives because if you look at our crime rate, it's a shocking one. We have a neighboring country like Botswana there. When you check their crime rate, it has one of the lowest crime rates. Now, the secret to that is the fact that Botswana, they don't take any tolerance to any crime. It doesn't matter a big or a small crime. If you commit this kind of crime, they will punish you the same way you've committed that kind of crime. But then you come to South Africa where it's the land of the free. Everyone behaves the way they want because there is no way that there is going to be punishment to what they do. Most of the people that do the crimes, they never get caught. And now you look at the fact that if we can be able to control our security system, our law enforcement agencies, how then are we supposed to compete with other countries as the best? I mean, you can count or do a percentage of the South Africans, over 50 million people living in South Africa, and do a questionnaire like the Stars SA are doing now, and find out how many people have become a victim of crimes in South Africa. It would be shocking to find out, like, out of 10, almost 7 people have been a victim of crime. I remember one time I was driving and I was approaching a robot. It turned red and then we stopped. There was a car in front of me. So this car that was in front of me, it stopped. I stopped behind him, and then out of the blue, 3 guys came and then they went straight to that car that is in front of me, took out knives, and then they took everything they wanted from this guy. And then next thing, I'm there, I'm scared, I'm watching this thing, I'm looking at my windscreen, I'm like, when they are done, they are going to come to me. There's no way that they are going to leave me. And I have valuable items in my car that they can take and sell for a lot of money. So what I did, I tried to shift to the other side of the road and face oncoming traffic so that I can escape. But they stopped me. There was one guy who stopped me to say that one of the guys who was robbing that car, they said to me that you need to stop because you are disturbing our operation here. We're making a big, beautiful discovery here. We are discovering some things that we want. If you move, you are going to disturb us and it's going to be a problem. So I stopped there. I was still scared. I stopped. I let them finish. And after finishing, the robot opened, and then we all decided to drive away. But the car in front of me drove away with their valuable items being taken. And the most surprising thing to me was the fact that we all stood there. Nobody did anything. I mean, there were 3 guys carrying knives. But we are like close to 15 cars. No one did a thing. We just watched. Now the problem becomes when us as South Africans, us as people, we just look at crime when it's in progress. We just watch and let them do whatever they want. And the fact that we are scared of being victims ourselves, it leads to us not wanting to partake in helping this guy. I remember there was a headline one time on the news. There was this guy who had I think it was a stepson. He took him to school and then he went back to collect him. It was after school. He decided to go there early, slept inside the car, and as he was sleeping, the boy came, knocked on the windscreen, and as on the window, sorry. As he was knocking, the father decided to take out a gun and shot the boy. And when they questioned him, he said that he was scared. He thought he was getting mugged. It can be debated, but it goes back to the fact that we are a country with a lot of problems in terms of crime as a whole. I remember I was parking my car at a mall, and then as I was parking, there came a big car, a Range Rover. It came and parked next to me. As I was going outside my car, I noticed that there was one guy who decided to come up there. When that Range Rover was parking, he came up, and as this driver of a Range Rover was trying to close the car, he decided to open the other door. Slowly, as he slowly opened it, I noticed that, and then the driver of a Range Rover closed the other door, and then he decided to just close with the mobilizer and leave. But the problem is that because that other door was opened, it meant that the whole car is not safe anymore. What I did, I walked to that guy who was going inside the shops. I said to him, you need to go back and close and check that all your doors are closed before anything happens. He asked what was wrong. I said, I noticed something suspicious. He went back. I went back to my car. I drove off. I saved that guy that day. But then the problem is, if you do that and then they notice you don't leave, they're going to come after you. Now, we normalize crime in South Africa to a point where we know that the police won't do anything about it. And if they can't do anything about it, we are also powerless. We can't do anything about it. That leads to us being endangered. Your your friend, your family member, anyone, they can be a victim of crime. It hurts. But what happens is that our response to that is a bigger problem. I mean, these days in the township, there's a mob justice where if people notice that a crime in operation, a criminal is busy there, they will attack that person and take mob justice will take its course. Most of the times they hurt the criminal. That would be a way of teaching him a lesson. And when police come, they can end up arresting the people who were involved in the mob justice. Now, the solution to this is the fact that our law enforcement agency, if they are understaffed, government needs to make sure that they hire more people. Pegicele, before Ramaphosa came, he was hired by Jacob Zuma. I remember he was as the person in charge those days of the law enforcement agency. I remember he made sure that the criminals don't have it easy. There was a time in Joburg there was no crime. Everyone was afraid of Pegicele. The criminals were like, for us to commit crime, we need to remember that Pegicele will take care of us. It was a shoot-to-kill operation. And then it had to stop because there were a few complications. Some said there were reports that wrong people were being shot, so they had to stop it. But the fact was that during those times, criminals were afraid of Pegicele. They knew that if we do this, we are in trouble. But since Ramaphosa came and then Pegicele got a job as a police minister, we have a problem now where criminals are having fun. It didn't happen now with Ramaphosa, but it was going on even before then. We are having a problem where these criminals are enjoying the fruits of this country, which are the individuals. They are enjoying doing whatever they like. ANC is in government. The best thing they should be doing is that to take care of the problem that we have as a country. I mean, you can't go to work or go wherever you want, a business meeting, anything, and then be afraid of the fact that anytime criminals might be after you, might be following you, might want your possessions. That is the problem that we are having as a country. The only way to be able to avoid this is for government to intensify its policies on these crimes, on criminals, and also for us as a generation, as people, to make sure that we support each other. I can't let the next person be robbed while I watch because I'm afraid of what they might do to me. Maybe we need to group each other and form a group where we decide that if these people try to rob you, then we will come across, we will attack them or stop them. Then in that way, that mentality of criminals can't really control criminals can't really control our lives will take effect, and in turn we'll end up having a free movement in our country. Now we are afraid to even go anywhere. You can't even walk safely at night because the next thing they'll take whatever that belongs to you, because they have these things of not caring what you say or do. And they push that, the reasoning behind that, they say that there's a lot of unemployment and hunger in South Africa, so people do as they like. I mean, those facts are true, but you can't resort to violence. You can't resort to criminal mentalities just because you can't find a job. We need to hold government accountable, but we cannot take the matter into our own hands. I wish and I hope one day we'll live in South Africa and enjoy moving around at night or wherever we want to move without having to worry about the fact that we might get mugged. Thank you for watching, guys. Until next time. Cheers.